Welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley, where we highlight people and organizations in town who make Tinley Park a great place in which to live. And as we all know, Tinley Park is a pretty great place in which to live. My name's Ron Centeni. I'll be your host today. And as usual, the program is brought to you through the efforts of an all-volunteer crew that's bringing you all this on a regular basis. We've been gone for about a year and a half, so it's kind of a nice time to get back and filming what's going on in Tinley Park and letting you know the things that are happening in town here. The program today is based on a program that's been going on in Tinley Park for almost 17 years now called Benches on the Avenue, where we highlight benches that have been made by various artists depicting album covers. If any of you want to get it, there's a program that shows all these album covers somewhere along the way here in town. But it's kind of neat to see all these artists and what they've created. It's tremendous and very colorful and very unique to Tinley Park. Good time to kind of take a walk down Oak Park Avenue. There's all kinds of things to see and do down here. Stop for a pizza or an ice cream cone and check out all these very beautiful benches that are on Oak Park Avenue. Hopefully you get a chance to see what they're all about. Hopefully and see what's happening in Tinley Park, and hopefully we'll be able to give you more programs sometime during the year and get back on track with Discover Tinley. So enjoy the benches. Oh, we're here with our one of our main benches, our first bench on the avenue here, and our artist is Dante DiBartolo. Well, welcome to the benches on the avenue, Dante.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, you've been doing this for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been doing. This is the third bench I've worked on.
Yeah.
And
now, what the title is Toys in the Attic. Now, what is that all about, and why did you particularly choose that theme for your bench?
Well, this year was album covers, and my cousin, he was the one that talked me into helping make these benches, and him and his friends were all really big fans of the album. So I decided to come up with the design based on that.
Name your cousin your friends.
Yeah, it's my Bob Renaud, Tom Liston, Al Jebbins, and Terry Nugent.
Wow. Okay.
And they were all like amateur woodworkers, and they helped me with the woodworking, and then I came up with the design and painted it.
Yeah, tell us what went into making this kind of thing, how long it took you, and what went into making it.
Overall, it was about 120 hours worth of work between all of us.
Goodness.
And it's made out of plywood, cedar, and the bench, and it's painted in acrylic.
Wow. Now, who did the actual painting?
I did the painting.
Your painting, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And what about Aerosmith, and what's that mean to you? What does that mean to you, and why did you particularly choose that?
It was a pretty popular album, and it was just an album that we all liked.
Wow.
And it was also an album that had nice imagery. I thought it would be a fun one for the families, since there's a lot of kids that are taken here. I figured that, like, with the toys and the theme there, the kids would like it.
Okay. You want to describe a couple of things you got here, what they are all about?
Yeah, it's I basically I put like a lot of the names of the band members and some of the songs hidden on the bench for people to find. The album cover has basically a bunch of like whimsical toys and like a kid that the toys are inviting to enter their world, and I thought it was a nice idea and concept to convey. And I came up with the idea of making it slightly three-dimensional so that it would have some depth to it.
Wow. Now, where did you make this? Is it in your house?
We made it in my cousin's garage, yeah.
In the garage?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what kind of hours you're putting in on that? What, like after work or?
Yeah. It was basically whenever we all had free time.
And what is your profession? What do you do when you're not doing benches?
I'm a professional freelance artist.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I do a lot of mural works, a lot of sculpture, and sometimes I do mosaic work as well.
Oh, my goodness. Where can we see some of your works?
A large amount of it's in the Joliet area.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. You think you'll be doing more benches? You're going to keep this on as a regular thing, you think?
Yeah, as a regular thing. We all really enjoy doing the work, and it's a nice event that they do for the city here. So
oh, my
I think
goodness.
It's a really good thing.
Wow. Well, it looks pretty good. And on all your benches have this QR code where people can actually tune into your song, right?
Yeah. The songs walk this way, and it's anybody that scans that will be able to listen to that song. It's one of the songs on the album.
So this is an active bench. You could do that. Well, thanks for coming to our Discover Tinley and Benches on the Avenue, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Come again and see Toys in the Attic by Dante DiBartolo. Another bench we have in the avenue here on Oak Park Avenue is Fleetwood Mac. I don't know how many of you know Fleetwood Mac, but we have our artists here, Tim O'Brien and Samantha Cook. Welcome to the Benches on the Avenue.
Thank you.
Describe what you've got. This is fantastic. The actual figures, I think I've seen that. Describe what you got here, and why did you choose this particular theme?
Fleetwood Mac has always been a huge inspiration for me, especially Stevie Nicks, all the stuff that she's starred and done, produced. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. So she was definitely one of my first choices. And once Tim and I found the Rumors album cover, we just decided this was it. This is what we want to do. This is what we have to do. We don't know how we're going to do it, but we need to do it.
Yeah. How did you come up with the actual things, what you did here?
It was all trial and error.
Oh.
It was all guessing on how we're going to make this possible. Using mannequins to cut up and piece together, and lots of fiberglass, lots of resin, lots of mistakes.
Oh my!
And fixing them. So, it's been a wonderful process for both of us, I think,
Wow. Now, where did you do this, and what was the time frame of doing all this?
What did we have? Like only 2 months, maybe?
Yeah, it was a couple months. I mean, we started early because we knew, the fiberglass is going to be a lot of work, so we just took a gamble hoping to be accepted.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. We ordered the mannequins ahead of time, too, to try to get those started, but yeah, it was all a lot of trial and error, hopefully getting it right, and then if we messed it up, it was doing it over again. So, and at one point we were focused on painting them skin tone. And then I came to Tim one day and I'm like, Tim, it's the cover's in black and white. So we had to redo all of it. And it was wonderful.
Oh my goodness. And the song is what now?
I'm not sure what song they put on there. We let them choose whatever song they were interested in putting on the bench.
Okay.
I love all the songs on the album. So
okay. Yeah, and again, the QR code is over here with the song that you want to listen to. So are these any particular characters, or do you know they have names, or just?
Stevie Nicks, and this is Mick, and they're both in Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. Now, what do you guys do? Other things? This is not your full-time job, right?
No, he does more art in his creative processes than I do.
Okay.
I do it more as just a hobby. He does wonderful tattoos. He's done all of my ink.
Oh my.
Yeah. So.
Okay. And Tim, you've done this before, right?
I have. First year we did Norman. That's just down in front of Bettenhausen Dodge.
Okay.
And then a Moses, and I think there was one other one. But I took a break for a while because of work. It's a lot of work doing these benches.
No kidding. No kidding. I can't believe how many hours. Have you figured how many hours you might have put in on doing this?
We were just blessed with the weather. I mean, there's been sometimes, during these events that it's rainy, so you can't get anything to dry. So we were really lucky. I mean, we could have used a little more time, but.
Where did you do this at?
I've got a patio behind my house that's covered. So we put some turbo heaters in there. And
oh, my.
Yeah.
Yeah, you started this. When did this get started? About in March or something?
Back at the end of February, March.
Oh, my.
Like I said, we took a gamble to start early.
Okay.
With anticipation of being accepted. So.
Wow. Well, it's beautiful. It's really fantastic. Something
Thank
very
you.
different. So thanks for doing the Benches on the Avenue, and your selection is excellent, outstanding. Shows a lot of work. So hope you see again maybe next year. You think you might do it again?
Maybe. I would love to. I would love to. So hopefully you will see us. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, our next bench is a very famous movie that maybe some of you hadn't heard of before, but it's been a very popular movie over the years, My Fair Lady, and done by one of the most prolific of the bench artists, Nick Schulian. Welcome to Benches on the Avenue, and you've been doing this how long?
I've been doing this 17 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've done about 50 benches. I've done the Christmas bench, 2 Halloween benches, and outside benches for other people, and the 9/11 bench, which I'm in the process of restoring now.
Okay, and where is that at now?
It's in my driveway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how did you happen to pick this particular theme for
Well,
yours?
I'm not into current music.
Okay.
I'm 75, so I don't know a lot of these people.
You're still a young man.
Oh, okay, thanks. And so I thought of this because I thought, I could do a lot with that. And it was probably one of the most challenging benches I've done because I had to work with the umbrella and figure out how I can get the umbrella on with the hat. But it seemed to work out okay. So I'm
now,
glad
how do you
it
do
did
it? You kind of draw ahead of time. How do you figure
Yes,
out how
we-
you're going to do this ahead of time?
We draw it ahead of time and send them to the village, and the village brings them around to sell the benches before we even start working on them.
Okay.
But it's very difficult to transfer from 2-dimension to 3-dimension.
Yeah.
You're always making changes, to make it work. And,
Yeah.
So it was difficult.
Wow. Do you figure how many hours maybe you put in on making this?
When you work on art, it's difficult to set
Okay.
times.
All right.
I am trying to keep track of one bench that I'm working on now.
Okay.
And I've put in 18 hours so far.
Oh my goodness.
Just restoring.
Now, do you do this at your home, or where do you do
Yeah,
this?
it's at my home. It's my drive. I have a long driveway. It's kind of behind my house.
Okay.
So
Any particular thing about My Fair Lady that made you pick that particular one out from that era?
not really, except I knew it was really a nice movie,
Yeah.
and the music is good.
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, and it's a little different than all the rest. I even called the village and said, "You sure you want me to do this? Because it doesn't fit with everything else."
I think it's good to represent. And again, we have the QR code here where people can actually come up and listen to the song that you've chosen for this bench. So
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea.
yeah, and
Very nice.
And what's on the back of your bench?
Rex Harrison and Audrey Hepburn.
Okay. Yeah, for those who don't know who the stars are, who is that now? Who is that now?
That's Audrey Hepburn.
Okay, and this is
That's Julie Andrews, who did it on Broadway.
oh.
And she did it in the movie.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very excellent movie there.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful, I can't believe how wonderful this looks. It's very elaborate.
Well, thanks.
To come up with that. Do you think you might keep on doing this?
It's getting harder and harder
Oh,
every
no.
year.
Now, what did you do before?
Oh, I
you
was a teacher. I was an art teacher.
art teacher.
Yeah.
Okay, so right up your alley.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does keep me busy. And it challenges me.
Yeah.
To keep busy. So.
Do you do any other art besides this kind of?
Yes, I do.
What kind of art are you?
I paint on slate.
Oh my goodness.
Broken slate pieces, mostly animals.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of neat. That's something different.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world. Thanks for doing this for 17 years. I always look forward to your benches because they're always a very elaborate benches there. So it's fantastic. Nick Schulian with My Fair Lady. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, another bench here is a very famous group that some of you may have heard of, the Grateful Dead. How many of you heard of Grateful Dead? That's a very popular group way back then. And the artist for this is Laura Garrett. So thanks for coming to Benches on the Avenue, Laura.
Thank you for having me.
Wow, now Grateful Dead is before your time. What made you even think about doing something like this?
I just feel like generationally, the way that I grew up, all the music from the 60s and 70s was what I listened to in my childhood. When I was a little kid, we were on vacation with my family in Wisconsin. We had a cabin up there that we were at. And I remember, clearly from that time, it was the only music video that they made, but it was when MTV was an era, which is what I grew up with, and then VH1. And they did the Touch of Grey video, and they had the skeletons, and it's just like a vivid memory from being a little kid. And it's always stuck with me. Everyone that I grew up with listened to it. It's just kind of always been a part of my life, as music has.
Wow.
Great imagery. If time allowed, I would have done a lot more to this, but life gets busy, and there's so many symbols and images that you can do, and it's fun and colorful. So
Well,
that's
talk
where the
about
inspiration
what
came
this
from.
is all about here, because I have no idea what this means here.
This is a play on the Europe 72 album, which is a live album by them. It's a white album, and the Ice Cream Cone Kids on the front, and then on the back I have the High Steppin' Into Town coming out, which this is actually the back. They're reversed, but this image I liked more for being on the front of the bench, because for those that know this image, many people going down the street have no idea what it is, I'm sure, if you're not a fan of the band.
Right.
And I did the steelies on the sides too, which I wish that you can see those, but that's part of the struggle of being a bench artist, is where you put things and how they're seen. Sometimes the parts that you love most about your bench aren't the ones that necessarily always get visually seen. I would have loved to have done the dancing bears along the bottom and had Bertha, which is the skeleton with the roses on there. So you could just play on it forever.
You got the dancing bears on your shirt there.
I do. I dressed appropriately to
You
represent
sure did.
my bench here today.
Oh my goodness.
So I loved that a goal with the benches always is to make them colorful and bright, and if you know the Grateful Dead, tie-dye is just associated with it. So I loved all the color that could be used, and it was a lot of fun to create.
Yeah. Now, who helped you with it? Anybody help you with this?
I did it with my family.
Okay.
I drew it all out. My husband cut everything for me. My kids helped with all the sanding and priming and all that good stuff, and the painting that they could do to help me along the way. I have an 11-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So.
Oh my.
Yeah, little hands are helpful, and it's good for them to
They can do
keep
big
busy.
brush strokes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And it's great for them. I love that they can be involved in community projects, and we do a lot of awesome things here in Tinley. My daughter's involved with Girl Scouts. My sons are. We have the Bulldog Picnic that we're headed to after that today, which is up at the complex. So anything they can do to be a part of the community and help better things, I'm all for that.
Have you lived in Tinley Park very long, or?
I have lived in Tinley Park for 15 years. I used to live right here in Old Tinley, off 174th. And we always loved the downtown area. We just outgrew our first home, and now we live by the 80th Avenue train station.
Okay. And you're not a full-time artist. What is your normal job?
I was home for 9 years.
Okay.
I'm an educator. I went back in March to teaching, and very happy about that decision.
Okay.
I was home for a really long time, and I always try to see the bright side of things.
Right.
And we all went through the pandemic, and I had that year home with my kids, and I feel like my kids were the perfect age to have to go through something like that. They don't know independence yet. They don't go off on their own with friends and stuff like that. So I was able to take that year at home with them, and all of the things that I intended to teach them that I didn't necessarily have time to do. They all know how to sew a button now. They all know how to, they learned how to cook a lot of things. They all had to help out.
They know how to do artwork now.
They do. I love being creative with them. So it was just the right time. My husband was working from home.
Okay.
I felt that there was a need for me to be home when they were little, and I was blessed to have that time with them. And now they need to know some independence, and that mom can do her thing too. So it's all good lessons in life.
Now you've done, how many benches have you done?
This is my fifth.
Fifth. Okay,
yes.
So you're a veteran at benches now.
Yeah, so
think you'll keep doing them?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow.
I wish I had done one last year.
Oh my.
Just busyness of life.
Okay.
It wasn't in the cards last year to do one, and then when that pandemic hit, I was like, my gosh, I really wish I had a project to work on here at home. So as soon as we found out what the theme was this year, we knew we had to roll with it. So.
Thank you for doing Benches on the Avenue with the Grateful Dead. Laura Garrett with the Grateful Dead. Thank you. Well, we have our next bench over here, the Led Zeppelin. Okay, any of you heard of Led Zeppelin before? That's quite of a famous band in that era. And we have with us Angela Simpson, who is the artist who made this. Angela, welcome to Benches on the Avenue.
Thank you. This is a collaboration between me and my son-in-law, and we created the Led Zeppelin bench together. Mike Schultz is his name, and he wasn't able to make it here, but I'm representing for us.
Now, what went into making this? First of all, how did you come upon this as your idea? Why did you choose this?
Just because I love Led Zeppelin, and they're such an icon. When my era, they were the top of the rock and roll scene. They were it. They were it.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose the Led Zeppelin bench. It's one of my favorite bands.
And why did you choose this particular scenery?
I love this one because of the inside jacket of the fourth classic album. It has no name, but the inside jacket's got the guy, they call him the Hermit, up on the mountain, and I love that. I was like, if we could create that in 3D, it would be awesome. And then also the painting on the front cover, which I replicated, tried to best I could, and I wanted to more or less try to make it like a pop 70s poster thing type of album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you did a good job.
Thank you.
It looks very good. How did you make that statue?
This one was I actually went on YouTube to try to figure out how to make it 3D, and it's like got a PVC pipe underneath, stuffed canvas, and wrapped with plaster and paint on it.
Oh my!
So to make it solid.
Wow.
Yeah. The hard part was trying to figure out how to mount it on there without it being destroyed, because sometimes people like to mess with the benches and you know. I wanted to make it solid. That's all.
It's very solid.
Yeah,
Yes, it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. And my son-in-law did the wood cutouts
okay.
and the Zeppelin and all that. So
Wow.
yeah, it was a good collaboration.
He's
very good at artwork.
Are you the artist? You're an artist too, then, right?
But he's more professional.
Oh.
I do it just because I like art.
Okay.
I don't make a living selling art, but
Okay.
he's a tattoo artist.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Now, how long it took you to put all this together?
Oh, it took us quite a while, but at least 5-6 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
To complete it, and a lot of it's got to do with the weather too. When you start in March.
Yeah.
We start in March.
Now, did you do this at your home there?
Yeah,
or-
I did in my garage.
In your garage. Okay.
Yeah, my garage.
Luckily, you had a garage.
Yeah, luckily.
Parked your cars outside, right?
Yeah.
Oh my. Now, have you done benches before?
I have. I've done. This is my third bench.
Oh my.
The second one with my son-in-law, Mike Schultz. I moved to Tinley in 2015, and 2016 I did my first bench.
Wow.
We did Wizard of Oz bench, and then 2020 I did the Las Vegas bench.
Wow.
And then this year we did the Zeppelin bench.
Okay. You think you're gonna keep doing them?
I love it.
All
I
right.
love it. But the only hard part is, getting the time and everything like that. Unfortunately, I was laid off.
Oh, okay.
So,
You had
but I
time.
had time, so it kept me occupied, and
Well,
I was happy about it.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you for being on Benches on Oak Park Avenue. It's tremendous. Led Zeppelin.
Thank you.
Angela Simpson and Mike
you.
Schultz.
Thank you.
Well, we have another one of our veterans here who's been doing benches for quite a while here on Oak Park Avenue. Marty Rose, welcome to Benches on the Avenue.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah. Now, how long have you been doing this? You've been doing this almost since the beginning, right?
Yep, since the very conception.
Oh, my.
In the beginning, I was doing at least one every year, sometimes multiple.
Oh, geez.
Over the years, my daughters, while they were living at home, I got them involved in the program as well, too, so they put out a number of benches.
Wow. So it runs in the family, huh?
Yeah.
Good
They're all
for 'em.
talented.
Good one. Well, talk about why did you choose this particular group? Or you've got two groups here, don't you?
Yeah, and since the theme was album covers, classic album covers, so I chose a couple of album covers that I know are part of the classics. And since I'm a huge fan of Bob Dylan, our poet laureate, ever since the 70s when I first was turned on to him, I had to incorporate Bob. And Bruce Springsteen was touted back in the 70s as the next Bob Dylan, so that naturally turned me on to Bruce.
He had a little different voice than Bob Dylan.
And he still does.
Yes, he does.
But so Bruce over the years has been fantastic. I started being a fan of his at the end of the 70s and all through the 80s, and he's still going. And so there's a lot of mutual respect between these two. Bruce actually was doing the speech to induce Bob into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame the year he was inducted.
Oh, my. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what songs have you produced for this particular bench now?
Well, on the planter boxes, if you were to look at them, you'd see that I did incorporate some of the songs off of the albums, mostly Bob's. Bruce's song that I put on here was Glory Days, and about his friend that could throw a speedball by you. So I have a picture of a baseball in the catcher's mitt. And on the other side, on that planter box, there's a few of Bob's songs off the album that are represented on there. You have to try and figure out what they are. The clues are there.
Oh my goodness! Now how much work did it put into something like this? What does it take you to do something like this?
Very time consuming,
Yes.
which is, and you have a very short period of time to do it in.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in the months that are cold.
Yeah.
And so I don't have any heat in my garage, and that's my studio.
Oh.
So I've got to pray that I get good weather when I first pick up this bench and want to get started. Usually that doesn't happen until about April, so I pick it up in March. So I'm looking at really crunching time in April to try and get it done by the end of the month.
Yeah. Now, are you the artist for all this stuff? You do it all yourself?
Everything. I do the wood cutting myself because,
Okay.
we try to make everything three-dimensional as
Okay.
much as possible.
Yeah.
This probably is one of my least three-dimensional creations. I've gotten very elaborate in the past, but you could tell that the characters are actually cut out from separate plywood.
Yeah.
And then I've carved into the surface to give it three-dimensional look, particularly on Bob and Susie on the Freewheelin' album cover. Yep.
Yeah.
And then I paint them, varnish them. There's a lot of sanding involved.
Wow. Now, are you an artist by trade at all, or?
No, but I've always been an artist, and I do art as a hobby on the side and supplement my income with some creations, including some that are right out in the square right now for the Caribbean Block Party. I do cutouts for them, painted them like the seahorses that are there, the flamingo.
We were wondering who did those. Those are yours, then,
Yeah,
huh?
those are mine.
Oh,
and
my
I've got some for Christmas that come out, and some in the fall, like the witch's cauldron, scarecrow, and things like that. Yep.
Wow. Well, thank you for doing it again. You're a regular on Oak Park Avenue, and you always do tremendous stuff. So, Marty Rose on Benches on the Avenue, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Ron.
Well, it was great watching and seeing all those benches that we got to visit with, especially the artists, because a lot of times you won't be able to talk to the artists. But we saw 6 of them. There's 20 of them all together. So please come downtown and see them all. They'll be up through the end of September. So you got till now between the end of September to see all these benches and see what they look like. And who knows, you might catch an artist sitting down one time by their bench. So thanks for watching Discover Tinley this month, and we'll see you next time.